Hi, welcome to this video on the topic Untouchability in the Modern Day Society. This video is presented by Aditi Vairavan, roll number 19125003, Brinda S. Nair, roll number 19125110, Chaitanya S. Binoy, roll number 19125511, and Rohit Suresh Nair, roll number 19125538. So without further ado, let's get into the video. Untouchability refers to the humiliations imposed from generation to generation on a particular but a sizable section of the Indian population. Gandhiji referred the term Harijan, which means children to God, to untouchables, who toiled and dirtied their lands for others, the Durjan, which means men of evil. But it was B.R. Ambedkar, the great leader of the untouchables and the architect of the Indian Constitution, that legally abolished this practice in any form, and who established the word untouchables. Untouchability, to put it in the right way, is the extreme and vicious aspect of the caste system, prescribing stringent social sanctions against those placed at the bottom of the caste structure. Untouchables fall outside the caste structure and hierarchy, and their touch pollutes others, invoking terrible punishments, fatal attacks, and atrocities. Three major dimensions from the prevailing practice of untouchability are exclusion, humiliation, subordination, and exploitation. They are excluded from much of the social life that includes the sharing of drinking water resources and participating in religious worship and festivals. Humiliation subordination is evident in the imposition of gestures of deference, like carrying footwear in their hands, bending forward with bowed head, and not wearing clean or bright clothes. Imposition of forced, unpaid or underpaid jobs and confiscation of property are some forms of exploitation. Dalits contribute about 17% of the Indian population. Over 3/4 of them live in rural areas of India. This number is more or less equal to that of the upper caste Hindus in rural India, who suppress, oppress, and subjugate Dalits relentlessly. It is said that Dalits make up about 27% of the people living below the poverty line in rural India, as against 10% of the upper caste in the same category. Remaining poor, they lack essential resources to accumulate wealth and are often being engaged in low-paid and low-mobility occupations. Compared to any other social group in India, Dalits have one of the highest rates of unemployment in the country. Nor are they supposed to unfold their umbrellas in the rain or in the hot sun. If they are on bicycles, they have to dismount instantly. Now let us look at two case studies which happened very recently to see the hardships the Dalit community is facing.
Keeping a clean environment is very essential. Having a street flooded with septic tank water is definitely of utmost inconvenience. But can you imagine a person, that's right, a real human being sent into these toxic tanks to clean them so that we, the fortunate upper caste, don't face any inconveniences? The price paid to sort out this inconvenience is the life of a Dalit. In January 2020, 19-year-old Siddhappa had unfortunately succumbed to asphyxiation when he was sent to clean a septic tank at the Ganesh Bagh, Infantry Road, Bengaluru. There were no arrests made, but a case has been filed by the Commercial Street Police. In Karnataka alone, the government records show 85 such deaths have been occurred, out of which 36 reported from Bengaluru alone. Sadly, even to this day, many cases are not reported and are just buried away. Even to this day, Dalits are made to sweep the streets, clean manholes, and do almost all of the odd jobs. Sadly, even to this day, a Dalit feels inferior and is treated inferior because of the caste he was born into. Fortunately, we do have people who raise their voices for the justice for the Dalits, but the Black Lives Matter movement has overshadowed the plight of these people. We hope that the sufferings of the Dalits are more widespread as much as the Black Lives Matter movement, and India, being a progressive country, should also strive to have a progressive mindset.
One of the biggest crimes against the Dalits is the bonded labor issue. What we read about bonded laborers and forcible migrants in books is a reality for many others in the society that we live in. Who are these bonded laborers? They are the people who were forced into slavery under severe threatening. The question to be asked is, Why? Why are such dreadful acts happening to them? Their widespread poverty and socio-economic inequality leads to such dreadful cases. They are being threatened to a great extent such that they cannot voice out or use their basic rights. Now, let's take the case of Pusao, a bonded laborer from Madhavara, a village in Lalitpur. He and 22 other Dalit laborers were forcibly taken to build a wall around a farm in Basant Kunj. Pramod, a 24-year-old Dalit bonded laborer, reports that they were strictly confined to the farm and were never allowed to go outside. People around them kept a close watch on them. According to Pramod's statements, the contractor, Sanjay, used to carry a pistol with which he would intimidate them. They were forced to work continuously for 12 to 14 hours and were not even allowed to take lunch breaks. They starved and they fell ill. They were occasionally beaten up. At times, the contractor showed his wrath towards them, who were clearly innocent. Pusao had got a release certificate 5 years back and he has not yet been released from his slavery. His wife and him were enslaved and forced to work for a total of 3 times, despite getting release certificates. This case is 1 in a million. There are many cases that go unreported. According to an anti-slavery international report, 90% of the bonded laborers are predominantly the scheduled caste and minority groups. According to an analysis that India conducted, the crimes against Dalits since 2016 has rose to 25% with 99% of the investigation pending. All these are happening in such a so-called progressive country. This unlawful practice can only be removed when this bonded labor cycle completely breaks.
A dozen Dalit houses were torched after electoral defeat of upper castes in Odisha village. The police, instead of making arrests, are protecting the accused. This is from one of the articles that I read 3 years back. To my knowledge, not much has changed. Without doubt, I can tell that Dalits still face untouchability with other discriminations. But we must consider the fact that people are trying to change this state of India. We must take measures and make sure that it is implemented properly to put an end to this oppression that they are facing every minute. We must make sure they are given equal opportunities in all areas and not just giving them promises or hopes. At the same time, there are a lot of them who fought against all odds and reached great heights, like B.R. Ambedkar, Ramnath Kovind, Ilayaraja, and many more. It's always in our hands to change the place we live in. Thank you.
पिछले 60 साल से SC ST और अब OBC आरक्षण। हमारे बच्चे दिन रात रगड़ रगड़ के पढ़ते रहे और जब एडमिशन का मौका है तो खैरात लूट लीजिए आप लोग। डर लगता है ना मेहनत करने से।
अच्छा, हमें मेहनत का पाठ पढ़ा रहे हैं आप।